Hi everyone, my name is Peter. Welcome to my YouTube tutorial. In this section, we are going to continue with the anti-seizure drugs. And today's class of drugs we're going to look at is the succinamides. So under these succinamides, we have drugs such as pharmacokinetics, ethosuximide, and then methosuximide. So and this is their general structure of these groups of compounds. So this is the structure of methosuximide. So what we are going to do in this section is that we are going to look at the mechanism of action, the pharmacokinetics, and then the side effects. Then lastly, we shall look at the group of drugs called the oxazolidinediones. Those were the first anti-epileptic drugs used in absence seizures before this class, and unfortunately they are no longer used due to their toxicities, as we shall see later. So therefore, let us jump into the topic and begin with the mechanism of action of these succinamides. So we shall begin with anyway, they all have the same action. So the mechanism of action with these drugs is that remember we talked about the absence seizures and how the T calcium channels are somewhere involved in propagation, initiation of this type of seizures. So what these drugs usually do is that they are going to inhibit the T types calcium channels. So they'll block or inhibit the T type calcium channel. So if we have these calcium channels blocked, so we shall not have the repetitive firings seen in absence seizures. And remember, these firings do not cross the cortex, or usually they're in the thalamus, so they do not involve any motor movements. So to go to the pharmacokinetics of these drugs, the pharmacokinetics, ethosuximide, and methosuximide, these drugs are well absorbed, so they are well absorbed, or like after an oral administration, they are well absorbed. And there in their distribution, these drugs have a low protein binding capacity. So they have a low protein binding capacity. So therefore, we shall not have much of this drug in the blood, on the plasma proteins. So therefore, this drug will straight go to the site of action, which is something good. And their metabolism, so these drugs are metabolized by what we call the cytochrome P450, and the iso group is cytochrome 3F4, the ones we've been seeing, and also there's another type which is 2E1. So these are the two isoenzymes that are used in metabolism of this drug. And excretion of these drugs is usually in the renal or in the kidney. So most of these drugs they do not really interact with other drugs, or they do it rarely. So we don't have the much of the DDIs as we've been seeing them in the previous anti-seizure drugs. Though some of the literature will say that these drugs can inhibit the action of valproate. So it's not that so clear. So as for now, let's drop down to the side effects of these drugs. So we shall begin with the sleep disturbance. So this is because they work in the central nervous system. Ataxia, they don't have balance in movement. Then nausea and vomiting, this is very common. And also the major side effect of these drugs is GI disturbances. So these are the major side effects with this drug, especially if it's given at a higher dose. Then there's also a chance of morphological change in the liver and kidney. So with this, usually when we give these succinamides, we do what we call the RFTs and LFTs periodically, because these drugs might precipitate hepatotoxicity or renotoxicity. And basically, I think that's all for this class of drugs. So thank you very much. See you next time. Bye for now.